Hello everyone, Jake and Mo here for the Morpher channel. We're going to play some games for you.
So what are you going to be playing today?
Rampage.
Rampage.
This is all about, this channel's about death metal, and we're here to cause some destruction.
You know, Rampage was one of my favorite games when I was younger.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, so what we got? We got Punch, Jump.
Yeah, so this is Midway Arcade Treasures for the PlayStation 2.
Arcade Treasures. Doubtful. Actually, this is the first time I've ever played this game on a controller.
Okay, circles jump, X is punch. And that's all you need to know is what to punch. Oh, select his menu.
Isn't that true for life, really? Punch a Nazi.
Already mentioning punching Nazis.
Okay, let's not go there.
Yeah. Well, I can understand, you know, we've gotten a long way to...
Who are you going to be?
Oops, let me see.
Who do we pick? I don't know.
I think you need to press jump button, which is the circle. Okay, oh, there you are. Oh, I guess it automatically picks for us.
Hey, I want to be Lizzie, okay? So...
Oh, well, it worked out for you then.
Yeah, well, Lizzie was my player 2 character because I was, you know, forever player 2.
Forever player 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was a younger sibling, so I was automatically assigned player 2.
Well, I mean, this era of punching Nazis, I kind of wondering if it's really helping, like, bring people to your side.
How
you know?
is punching Nazis not a good thing?
I mean, yeah, definitely with Wolfenstein, you know, they have that whole meme now, they're punching a Nazi.
Never in my life would I thought I would ever have the opportunity to punch a real Nazi, but hey.
Well, I guess technically not real, they're neo-Nazis, you know.
I just punched one then.
What do you mean you just punched a Nazi?
Disclaimer, he is not a Nazi.
No, definitely not. I'm quite the liberal, although,
I think I just punched a leprechaun, that was pretty funny.
being more of a moderate, maybe someone will call me extreme right, but I'm definitely not that either.
I'm a dinosaur right now and that's all I care about. Because, hey, life is too short.
Anyway, so I decided to play some games because I'm being stuck with my music lately. So I think I need something a little bit relaxed, maybe inspire me more. So I mean, I compose death metal, but what really got me into music was actually video games and video game soundtracks.
So for inspiration, we are dinosaurs smashing buildings.
Yeah. This one doesn't have much of a soundtrack.
There you go. Yeah, we did it.
We destroyed it.
Man,
Chicago.
This game is as cheesy as I remember it. Do you know you can do a little back smash? See, like you can
Backhand him?
double the hand, double the pleasure. That was supposed to be the double mint ad.
Yeah.
It went kind of wrong.
There.
Ignore me.
But yeah, I want to play this game just to destroy some buildings. Because,
I wanted to play this game because it was Rampage.
let me tell you, our setup was frustrating to get ready.
Yeah.
So I have this running through the S video. And actually no, it was the composite. I tried getting the S video work. It wouldn't work. And I tried to get 2 microphones to record at the same time. That took forever. But eventually I got that set up. And we only had 1 mic stand, so we had to use a coat hanger and a tripod for a camera to get that going.
Yeah.
Oh man, my life is almost done.
Yeah, we MacGyvered the shit out of this.
And I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing with music too. That I have to MacGyver these sounds together to get them to sound as disgusting as possible.
That's creating for you. I mean, it's...
Oops,
what is happening right now?
We died.
I turned into a small thing. So, I had this game on... what?
Oh, press jump.
Oh.
There we go.
I had this game on the Amstrad and really old console, whatever. And when you died, it would look like you turned into a lollipop. And I don't know what you were supposed to have turned into, but you would turn into this big melty pink thing.
It's probably supposed to be a person, but they didn't have enough colors to...
Maybe, yeah.
Radioactive lake changes woman's scale. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
That's kind of sexist.
There's a man, and I'm gonna smash him in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I played more of the later Rampages, so I don't know what to expect in this game.
You don't expect much.
Just
keep low standards.
Was there ever like a water puddle? Because I remember I used to fall in one of the games.
There was like a water puddle.
I used to get stuck in it.
Yeah, and you would turn into the pink lollipop. And I don't know what that meant, because, I mean, I didn't know what life would meant when I played this game. But, you know, it was all very confusing, and I didn't have... It was a slow time for me. But this was a good game. This was...
Yeah. I mean, you were limited back then by the processing power of these arcade units. And they made it work. And the ports of these games... Yeah, and these ports of these games weren't bad either. So there was a port of this on the NES, and that was pretty good.
Well, this is in quite some glorious colour compared to what I was used to, so...
Yeah. That's why I like getting these arcade classics, because they come in with all these different shades of colour of the arcade.
Well, you don't really have
helmets.
to think about them either, you know. It's just smash shit up. It's basically my motto.
Kalamazoo.
My motto in life.
Smash itself.
Button mash and hope for the best. I used to play this game on the keyboard, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm using the D-pads on this, so I can imagine the keyboard working just fine.
Yeah, I mean, you just press the
Oh, this
dial.
guy, eat him. I smashed him with a
I used to just
lid.
hold the directional, you know, the left and up key and just smash the keyboard to get him to punch. So it's actually harder with the joypad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in the day. I mean, I don't think Rampage
Back in the day.
wasn't too implicated in it, but they would complain like, games are rotting kids' minds and stuff like that.
Yeah, because, you know, dinosaur smashing buildings, that's, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was really Rampage, but I think that video games are a good outlet, you know. That's why I like death metal. It's a good outlet for a lot of angst you might have. And so with Rampage and stuff, you can get a lot of pent-up tension away, you know, just by destroying things finally.
I don't know.
What, you saying like you like rather bottling up tension than...
Hey, I have extreme anxiety, of course that's what I do.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I think it was more, I was a young, you know, kid, and it was like, kind of cute things doing cute things, and, you know, eating people. It was everything that appealed to me as a child.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like video games in general, just as a distraction, you know.
Oh yeah,
like,
I mean, it's something, you know, positive to put your mind into.
Like this fucking song I've been working on has been
you
annoying me.
You dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah, demonetized.
Demonetized.
Like we're gonna make any money off of this anyway.
First video, we're out.
Yeah, first video, no money ever.
True story.
What I like about these arcade classics is when you die, you can just have unlimited coins to
Well,
put
I mean,
in.
that wasn't quite the truth back in the day, though, was it? I mean...
No, back in the day, you would have to lose all your life savings.
That was the original theme tune, by the way.
Yeah, I wonder why this one... I mean, that was like was it the Amstrad song?
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably put it in later, because the arcade probably came out first, and then all these ports.
Yeah.
Smash it up. But, I mean, for me, video games always been some of an outlet. I mean, I know back in the day, my parents were worried that you become obsessed with video games and then you just become a hermit in your house. I mean, that happened with World of Warcraft, a lot of people, but, you know, I think it's a lot of times if life really sucks for you, you're going to lock yourself up anyway, you know, and video games really don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I like smashing up buildings with giant lizards, and, you know, that made me want to my basement. do anything with my life.
And you look at like a lot of the people that want to censor video games and such like that, and the other shit that they say and do later on, you know, you always find out that they're like a kitty fiddler or something like that.
Kitty fiddler.
Yeah.
You mean hanging around me for too long?
Yeah. And it seems like they're criticizing video games and they don't really have an outlet for themselves, and they're not thinking right, you know, they're attacking the wrong thing.
Well, people always want to find something to attack rather than look at themselves, you know. It's always,
and they want to
it's
blame
video
something.
games, it's this, rather than, you know, it's someone just has mental problems, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, and I can understand that, you know, mental health, it's not an easy issue to deal with, you know, that
Oh, no.
you feel hopeless with mental illness.
Oh, yeah.
And you
I mean,
really want to blame something else.
I deal with that firsthand, so I would love to be able to point a finger at something and go, that's the reason why I am the way I am, but
yeah, and if you're a family member and you're dealing with someone that has mental illness, you know, you want to say, oh, the video game drove them this way, you know.
yeah, the giant lizard smashing up buildings made my kid go crazy. But yeah,
yeah, and it's just because it's a big helplessness, you know, and sometimes it's just due to possibly a chemical imbalance in the brain. You know, there's some drugs that kind of can handle it sometimes, but
I think more of a case you're just treating the symptoms and not the actual problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an expert on this. I just have my own things that go on in my head. But
this is that water that I'm being stuck in.
Yeah, this wasn't in the original version I played. This is, and I mean, I don't take anything for anything, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was recently listening to a nice podcast called Science Versus. If you're really into science, it's a really awesome podcast. You know, it's a lot of full-length stuff. I'm a scientist myself, and I get annoyed with a lot of podcasts, especially a lot of science ones. But this it's a really good one. And they talked recently about depression, and they were going over scientific studies. And a lot of times for mild depression, they recommend that it's more of a therapy and finding outlets rather than taking drugs. But if you have severe depression, often you need to balance those chemical receptors.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it was as easy as take a pill and it all goes away, but it's really not.
I mean, the brain is so complicated that it's no surprise that it's hard to treat it.
Man, that's some in-depth discussions while playing Rampage.
Smashing through mental illness.
Sounds like a really bad, like...
And I know, and there's people out there that say that mental illness does not need to be treated with medication at all.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, and I think, like, to be honest, as a scientist, I don't think we know for sure, really, what...
I don't think we know enough about it.
Yeah, we don't
because
know enough yet.
It differs for each person.
Yeah, because there's someone I know that does take medication, and she says when she's off it, she can tell she starts feeling these weird and thinking these weird thoughts, and it's being on it is quite useful for her, you know. So it seems to be like working for her, and this is just one person, you know. I think everyone's slightly genetically different, you know, except for identical twins, but even then, you know, they still have their
I mean, they're not the
patterns.
identical person, you know.
Yeah,
they're just, you know.
And I think that's a lot of times when it is medication and science is like people want to say, does it work for everyone? And it's never the case. It's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know.
Well, there's many medications, you know, there's things that they can try, and sometimes therapies and things, but it's such a complicated issue. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm no way an expert on the whole.
Oh, you disappeared.
I know! Just...
Yeah, and I mean, oh, I almost died. A lot of people that are into like extreme metal and things like that, sometimes they suffer from self-confidence issues. And I mean, when I was growing up, I definitely suffered from self-confidence issues and stuff
I
like
think
that.
everybody did.
Yeah, yeah.
To a point. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure everybody has that feeling where they don't feel like they are, I don't know. I mean, even people that seem very confident, I'm sure there's an area of them that they, no one's completely happy in themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And then for like people that are like scientists and stuff that have gone through a lot of schooling, there is a syndrome called imposter syndrome where they feel like no matter how many tests that they pass, that they've just lucked out, that they're lucky to be where they are. And a lot of us are lucky to be where we're at, but they feel like they haven't earned it.
Yeah.
And they call it imposter syndrome, so everyone has their own problems.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of suffer from that myself, where I will earn something and I'll put 100% into it, but when I finally get the prize, I feel like I didn't earn it and someone just gave it to me because they either felt sorry for me or that sort of thing. It's always that self-doubt all the time, and it's destructive. Just like my lizard punching for a building right now. It's just... Brrr!
Yeah, and I'm surprised that video games have not been used more as a therapy.
Apparently they do use, they have shown them to be
therapeutic.
Good, yeah, therapeutic and good for concentration, I don't know, don't quote me on this. I'm nobody, so I just like punching you in the dick.
I mean, I can see them being therapeutic. I remember did I drown? Shit. That there was Silent Hill Shattered Memories that tried to incorporate some psychology and things. I mean, not to help people, but to mess with them, which I found quite interesting.
They did a good job with that game. Playing it recently, I enjoyed it. But I'm a big fan of the Silent Hill series anyway, so... and most dark games in general, I like something that has kind of a dark element to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of always been my horror movies, and it's kind of been my go-to thing. This little fuck nugget is just go punch a tank, Anyway, it's just.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the music I write on this channel is inspired by horror and sci-fi horror specifically, and all the more ominous sides of things.
Yeah, I've always had a fascination with horrors and that psychological thrillers and stuff like that. Not necessarily the sci-fi. I find I'm more... Would you stop? What is your...
I ate you.
You just ate me, really? Okay.
Well, he kept on punching me.
Why don't you shut up? So, yeah. This is kind of how my life's going right now.
What? Like being eaten?
Okay, aren't we supposed to be working? I don't even know what's happening right now. I don't know if we were supposed to be working together, but...
Yeah, I guess it is a co-op game, but it's one of those games. What's the guy running? Oh, he blew up the building. I find it interesting that they only limit you so much time to go through these levels. I guess it's trying to see how much points you get.
I think it was an arcade game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I never really got that far on it because it's...
Yeah, when I was a teenager, arcades were still around, but they didn't have Rampage yet. It was a lot of the 3D games
I never
like
saw
Virtua
Rampage
Fighter.
in the arcade. I used to have it on game system, so
yeah.
It was... But it never had many levels.
Smash, smash, smash. Yeah, I eventually ended up playing Rampage more on the N64. I remember a lot of people gave it a hard time because of graphics.
I never even knew that Rampage was on the N64. Well, obviously I do now, but because I never had an N64 growing up, so I never knew, and no one ever spoke about this game. And when I saw that Rampage was on N64, I almost lost my shit. You know?
You did? Why? Because you want to play
it
again?
was like my most favorite game when I was
growing up,
younger.
yeah.
And then the idea that it was all 3D and it was Rampage World Tour, I was like, oh my god, kill me.
Yeah.
You know?
Although they did I don't think the actual graphics themselves were 3D, but I think they had like clay or 3D rendered models.
It kind of reminded me of like the Donkey Kong type thing.
Yes, that's what it was like. Yeah.
Those little bastards.
Jump when you see dust clouds.
That's a good rule for life.
Yeah, if you see dust clouds, get the shit out of there. Yeah, I mean, you can't feel like that with all these terrorist attacks recently. You know?
Oh, we went there.
Yep, we're gonna go there.
Going on.
You know, it's hard to say though. Like, has it always been the case? I mean, you come from England. You had the IRA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there it was more common for you guys to hear about it. Now you don't have so much IRA, but you have more of.
I feel like at one point in the 90s, it happened so often that it was more of an inconvenience. You know, it was like, oh, you're on a train. It's like, oh, there's a bomb on the train, and rather than freak out, you just kind of looked at your watch and were like, well, I'm going to be late again.
Yeah.
You know, but I was kind of too young to kind of feel the actual fear of it. To me, it was more of, oh, what, I don't get to go to London today? Oh, well, bummer. You know, so I wasn't really... I was a 90s child, so...
Yeah, you didn't fully grasp.
Yeah, I didn't understand really what was going on. I just heard, you know, a lot of Irish people trying to blow things up, or IRA or whatever.
Yeah, it was IRA.
Yeah, I didn't really feel the effect of it, so... it didn't really trigger to me that it was something serious.
Yeah, well, I remember talking to one of my science teachers about events like that. I mean, it was... more over here with like the Oklahoma City bombing and stuff, and we're wondering like, well, he was thinking that there could be peace in the world, that there could be a time where there's not conflict, where there's not terrorist attacks. Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like it's unrealistic.
I feel like as long as there's people, there will always be conflict. It just feels to me that people don't like anything that's different, and so it's I don't know, it's such a hard thing to grasp onto.
Yeah, I think in general, I mean, people.
I mean, maybe there won't be like wars all the time, but I just feel like people. It's if you have any different belief. I mean, you know how YouTube comment sections blow up and how Facebook blows up because people don't share the same opinion. I mean, as long as people have different opinions, there's going to be conflict. So it's because we're not all the same. You know, that's what makes us human.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what I was thinking is that.
How comes? Okay, segue. How comes you can fall from a balloon and not die, but if you fall 2 feet from the ground, you die?
Well, living things apparently all have a health meter, and then so if your health meter's low and you jump from a high building, you die. But if your health meter's high and you jump from a high building, then you live.
But if you fall from a balloon from the top of the screen, that's fine. That doesn't kill you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you're getting at is I kind of feel like if there's diversity of thought, that there'll be conflict, especially if people believe that there's absolute right and wrong, that they have some sense of strict morality. And when you have strong beliefs, it's kind of like giving you bullets. Like humans are the gun and these strong beliefs are bullets.
Well, I think it's the human nature to protect what they feel is right.
Yeah.
And so, and people, there was I don't know whether it was a study or something that I watched recently, that they said that when someone's proven wrong, it's kind of the equivalent to them feeling physical pain, because they have that gut reaction that they need to defend themselves. And so the stronger they feel about something, the more strongly they feel they need to defend it.
Yeah,
And-
especially if you're in a debate. And I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with evolutional psychology. That if you have an idea that's worked for you so long, you want to hold on to that
Yeah.
idea. And so long-held beliefs, like beliefs about morality when you grew up as a kid and things like that, you hold on to those.
Yeah.
And if people are opposed to those, then you feel more offended,
Yeah.
more hurt about that.
And then, yeah, I feel it's just human nature to people to protect what they think is right, and as long as that human nature exists, I think there will always be conflict.
Yeah,
so
yeah. And
hopefully we will get to a time when we can have some more tolerance in the world but
there's always going to be
just-
disagreement.
yeah, I mean, the first war probably started out where some ape stole another ape's banana and got clubbed on the head with a stick, and then that was it. The first war. But it's
First mini war.
we are animals after all, just sometimes we're kind of more stupid.
Yeah, and sometimes so.
Really? Could I get shot in the face any more times? I'm just saying.
Oops, I need to get out of there.
You're having a
Oops, how to get out of there?
Terminator
How to get
moment
out of there?
right now.
I'm drowning.
I just turned into a naked woman.
Maybe we have to censor this video.
Little black squares. Okay, you need to just get out of my face with that shit. I just ate a bathtub.
There we go.
Alright.
These water levels. I forgot what stage where we were at.
I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm not even paying attention. Yeah, we were talking about something really thought-provoking, and then I got distracted by a banana. Yeah.
Yeah, that's modern life, You come up with a great idea, then it's a meme. Look,
It's a meme.
look at that cute cat. Forget about it.
Hey, cats save the internet. I'm sorry, but
What do you mean saved the internet from what?
from boredom.
From boredom.
Leave kitties alone, alright? So,
But yeah, well, what we were saying is sometimes having diversity of thought and having strict beliefs of ideas that work cause conflict. But sometimes if you think of the alternative where everyone was the same, that the alternative is not much better either.
well, I mean, how do you progress if everybody's the same?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a weirdo. I admit that.
Yeah, you are.
And if we had to all be a strict society where everyone had to be the same, there'd be no room for me in it. I wouldn't enjoy it. I mean, I like the stuff I like. I like death metal.
No one does.
I mean, what do you mean?
It's fine. It's fine. But I just don't. I mean, that's not a society. If everybody's the same, then that's.
Yeah.
How do you progress with that? How do you advance scientifically? How do you do anything if people already believe that no one has any new ideas? And to have a new idea, you have to go against the grain of what is already understood. So
Yeah.
you are being different by being a free thinker, and
Freedom.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way we progress is partially through a diversity of ideas, and
Yeah.
and not all ideas have to be correct, but to go to a correct path, someone first has to come up with the idea first.
I mean, someone has to plant the seed.
Yeah. And that reminds me of Teddy Roosevelt. So, in some ways, he was a product of his time. That he had a lot of the prejudices of the area he lived in, but he also talked about the marketplace of ideas. That it's good to have a diversity of ideas, but not all ideas are equal in their utility of how useful the ideas are. And sometimes that's controversial. It's like, oh no, everyone is equally right, and
No.
maybe philosophically, yeah, we can't determine if anyone's right or wrong, but as
You were
people,
naked just then. I was just saying.
as people, we can find certain ideas more useful than others,
At the right time, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, but no, I think it's good for people to be able to share their views, and for people, it's a fine line. It depends what their views are. There's certain things that we should give people the time for, and other times you should. When countries start disappearing, maybe we should stop listening to that person. You know,
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for it, and it's progress to have ideas and to challenge the norm and stuff. But I don't know. Be responsible with your ideas.
Responsible, yeah.
Yeah, PSA,
well, I mean,
just a PSA on that.
I mean, I think what you're really getting at is like when people try to incite violence.
Punch and answer.
You know.
Yeah, don't.
So I said I was talking about inciting violence, and you immediately incited violence.
I choose violence. Hey, look, they say violence doesn't solve anything. Violence solves everything. Yeah.
Violence solves everything. Well then, I guess we went full circle. So we'll see everyone next time. Goodbye, everybody.